Here we have the current stock market update for MICROCLOUD Hologram Incorporated, stock ticker HOLO. Before we begin, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts in the comments section below so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here we have the 30-minute price chart. I think I've explained previously why I think we're sort of forced to use this time frame here. It's mostly due to the fact that simply moving out a bit on the chart itself really becomes very difficult to see, because as we can see here, share prices have really started to flatline. At these extremely low levels, right around $1 or $2. I mean, we're obviously trading below that point currently. But for the most part, all these price levels really start to look the same as you pull out in this stock's longer term price history. We are trading nowhere near the $97, $98 that was seen previously. So we really do need to sort of drill into these shorter term timeframes here in order to see any kind of real price action for this name. And this is significant here because the real question about this stock is whether or not we're starting to form a base. We're already seeing lows coming in right around 30 cents per share. And, you really can't go much lower than that. If you lose another quarter, you're trading pretty close to zero at that point. So the real question here is whether or not the stock is starting to form a base. And I will be the first to acknowledge if you were able to see a base form in this stock, it would be a great buy. You'd be able to buy a penny stock at a very low level. But that's the main question here, and I will try to keep this as objective as possible. So in this video, I'm just going to look at some very specific price levels. There was a good question in the comment section. Someone asked a question, Terrence Holt. Shout out to Terrence Holt. Good question. He asked about a potential double bottom in this stock, and I think we can take a look at this here. And we can try to determine the validity here to see whether or not this is truly evidence of a base here, and whether or not the stock does have the potential to sort of rocket higher and make millionaires out of everybody that's holding this stock. So currently, what we will be looking at here is the 30-minute price chart, and I will sort of zoom in here. So the question seemed to be suggesting that there was a double bottom right around 32 cents per share. I'm assuming that he's talking about this area here. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I believe what he's referring to would be this sort of double bottom support zone that was generated here. So this would be during the Thursday, August 29 trading session, and then we saw the same price movement later in that same trading session. So just to clarify here, and maybe I'm interpreting his question incorrectly, but what I believe he's referring to here would be this price drop here and then this price drop here. These are coming in contact with roughly the same area. We do actually see a bit of a wick on this candle here. So the ultimate price low actually came in right around just above 31 cents. And then this sort of double bottom area. I mean, if I were to call this a double bottom, I would probably refer to this as more 34 cents rather than 32. But you say tomato, I say tomato. If this is the price zone that you're referring to, and if this is the price structure that you're referring to some extent, I would agree that this qualifies as a double bottom on a very short term time frame. I mean, I wouldn't even really. I think you would have to drill down further than the 30-minute price chart in order to see this. You could call this a support zone at roughly, I mean, I would probably call it 34 cents, maybe not 32 cents. And you did see a price movement higher from that area. The price movement here in the upward direction was almost exclusively positive. And then, if my outline here is the better way of looking at it, then that would mean roughly a gain of 10 cents per share. If it's 32 cents, then that would be roughly 12 cents per share. So, in percentage terms, that is a significant price move. I mean, 32 to 44, it's not a bad jump in terms of share price action. But the real question here is whether or not these moves are sustainable. And if you wanted to actually trade this, the first thing that I would want to do would be to pull out a bit as much as possible. And as I said, we really can't do that very much with this stock because, if I pull out even just a little bit more here, you can't even really read what's going on other than to just show the general trend here, which is obviously downward. So in order to see any type of price structure in here, you have to be looking at maximum 30-minute price chart. Maybe Terrence is looking at a lower time frame. I don't know, a 5-minute time frame maybe, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the 5-minute time frame. But those are very short term time frames, and if you're going to be basing a trade on that, I would suggest that you need to be entering and exiting your positions very quickly, especially with a stock like this, because the trading movements here tend to be very short lived. Unless you're looking in the negative direction. As we could see here, share prices did manage to bounce from right around 30 cents per share, more than double, to 76 cents per share. That's a major price movement. But these price levels weren't able to hold themselves for a full week. So if you weren't getting in and out here pretty quickly, you were looking at losses pretty quickly. And if you're anybody that's watching the other YouTube channels that are, just always bullish on these meme stock names, nothing's ever negative, even though the chart history is, the mirror opposite, the direct opposite of that. The outlook is always positive, but the chart is always negative. I mean, that's not a great scenario to be trading. If you were going to trade this double bottom here, I guess you could call that a double bottom. I mean, it's difficult, because even if you're looking though at a shorter term time frame. If he's listening to this, I would suggest you explain which chart frame you're looking at here, because even if you're looking at a 5-minute chart here, this price spike lower here is going to start to create, the structure that will create is not a double bottom. So this is, I believe you said August 29. So this would be August 29. So I'm not sure if this is what you're looking at or not. But the time frame here is going to make a big difference, because we did see spikes lower here. And if you're not drawing your support and resistance levels based on the wick. There are two different ways of doing that. You can draw trend lines based on the wick or based on the candle body. And if you're doing it based on the wick, this would absolutely not be a double bottom. If you're doing it more based on the candle body, I suppose you could refer to this as a double bottom. But price, time frame here is really going to make a big difference, because even if you're looking at this on a 5-minute price chart or something, the candle bodies here are going to be much lower. So I'm not sure why you would refer to that. I mean, if that's what you're doing, I'm not sure why you would refer to that as a double bottom. So maybe he can respond in the comments below. Interesting question. I can sort of see what you're talking about here on a 30-minute price chart, and we did see a bounce. I would just suggest that the bounce has probably run its course at this point. We're running into the top of the exponential moving average cluster, and the momentum for the stock is clearly in the downward direction. So here's the current market update for MICROCLOUD Hologram Incorporated, stock ticker HOLO. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership, and start trading stocks with the pros.